masters and guests. As most of you are aware, I am very taken with elephants. I've ridden an elephant. I have been in contact with elephants. I've cried with elephants. I've laughed with elephants. And tonight, my story is how the elephant got its trunk. I'm not sure how many people here know of Rudyard Kipling. He lived and died many years ago, and he wrote the Just So stories. And the story I'm telling tonight is how the elephant got its trunk. This is the story. In the high and far off days, the elephant had not a trunk. It had a little nose, it looked like a boot. And he went to the ostrich, and he said to the ostrich, he had an insatiable curiosity. And he went to the ostrich and he said, "Ostrich, why does your feathers grow so?" And the ostrich gave him a hit and said, "Don't ask so many questions." And he went to the giraffe and he said, "Giraffe, why have you got so many spots?" And the giraffe gave him a kick with his leg and he said, "Don't ask so many questions." And he went to his Aunt Hippopotamus and he said, "Aunt Hippopotamus, why are your eyes so red?" And the hippopotamus gave him a good kick with her leg. And he still had this satiable curiosity. One morning, he got up and he went to the koala bird and he said, "What does the crocodile have for dinner?" And the koala bird said, "You have to go down to the river, to the great grey Limpopo River, and find out." So he got himself ready and he got 100 pounds of sugar cane, and he had bananas and 17 melons, and he set off. And on the way he met the multicolored python rock snake, and he said, "Are you a crocodile?" And the python said, "No, I'm not, but you've got to go down to the Limpopo River." So off he went. And the crocodile, the snake, also, he lifted up his tail and he gave the elephant a good old smack. He went down to the river and there he saw a log. And the log moved. And the little elephant child said, Are you a crocodile?" And the crocodile said, "Yes, I am." Give you a wink. And he said, "Well, I want to know what you have for dinner." And the crocodile said, "Come here and I'll show you." And he winked with his other eye. And he said, "Come a little closer, elephant child." And the elephant child went a little closer, and the crocodile caught him on his nose. And the elephant child didn't want to be pulled into the river, so he pulled backwards. And he pulled, and he pulled, and the snake saw this, and the snake went to help him. And the snake wrapped himself around the elephant's hind legs, and the crocodile pulled the elephant forward, and the snake and the elephant pulled himself back. Eventually, after a while, the crocodile let go. But the elephant's trunk had been pulled 5 feet. And it was very sore. So he wrapped his trunk in banana leaves, and he put it into the Limpopo River to fall off. And after a while, he took it out, and it was still 5 feet long. So what did he do? He looked around, and a fly settled on his ear. And all of a sudden, he swiped the fly with his trunk, and it worked. He killed the fly. He found a good good use for this long trunk. And this went on, and he said, what can I now do with this trunk of mine? And he turned around and he could eat grass. He could pick up the grass. And it was good because he could actually use this new trunk for something else. And he started off home, and on the way he picked up all the leaves, all the sugar cane and all the banana peels and all the melon peels that he had left, and it was good because he could clean up after himself. He eventually got home and he turned around and he wrapped his trunk away, and his brothers came up to him and said, what happened to you? And he said, I've got a new trunk. And he swiped his brothers, and his brothers weren't very happy. But this led to the rest of the herd. They looked at this and they said, well, what have you got there? And he showed them, and he told them what it was like to have a trunk that he could do all sorts of things with, including eating the nice grass that came about. And they eventually all went down to the Limpopo River to meet the crocodile because they also wanted a trunk. And he went up to the ostrich and he said, now you see what I've got, and you can keep your feathers where they are. And he spoke otherwise to all the animals, except to the koala bear, koala bird, who was the only person that was nice to him. And this is now the story of how the elephant got his trunk. Thank you.
Good work. Thank you very much for Shoshana.